Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Monal and I have a pretty interesting video planned for today. I mean, you guys are obviously watching it. The video is about me reading books that according to my zodiac sign. So I don't know, like if you follow like a lot of Bookstagram accounts, then you would have probably come across this one post somewhere where the content creator was recommending books based on different zodiac signs, because the person would probably relate to that book if it matched whatever was like for their zodiac sign. Maybe the character was relatable, the plot was really good. Either way, that they would probably say that you are going to enjoy this book for the reasons. So I decided that I would actually test and see and like find out if that's actually true. Like, would I really enjoy a specific book just because the influencer said that the book was like a perfect match for me because of my zodiac sign? So that's what this video is about. I have curated a list of like around 3 to 4 books. Not a lot because I just want to get it started. But if you like this video, let me know in the comments. Make a part 2, and like explore more books. Now I just have only a couple of books. And I guess I should probably tell you what my zodiac sign is. So my birthday is on March 14th. If you haven't watched my previous video, which is a birthday haul, go watch it. So my birthday is on March 14th, which makes me a Pisces. Now there are like, if you follow like zodiac signs at all, like you get those like sometimes posts on Instagram about like what each zodiac sign like a person is like. So like what you will probably hear is there's like a specific thing that most people who have recommended books for the Pisces zodiac sign specifically have told. So for Pisceans, that's the word. For Pisceans, books are a welcome escape from the stresses of daily life. Very true. Like, they are my number one escape. Books are practically my best friends. What you desire is freedom, and you find it in books that transport you to other worlds, books that describe lives full of possibility, and books that illuminate the truths of our human experiences. Art is what matters most to you, so whether it's non-fiction about theatre, music, film, or a creative masterpiece in itself, inspiration is what counts. So that kind of holds true. I mean, I do enjoy a really good book. Like, a book that stays with me for a long time is the kind of books that I actually enjoy. Like, something about the story has to matter to me. It has to be emotional, but it also has to be funny because, like I already said, books are a form of escape, and I read books like it's stress relieving, even though I know that there are some books have like stuff that is so traumatic that it ends up giving you more stress because you're worried about the characters. But ultimately it is just a way for me to like detach myself for a while and like get my bearings before I step back into reality again. Books have been a part of my life for like ever since I was a kid. They've always been a part of my life, which is why I came up with this idea of making this video. So I'm gonna talk about a couple of books. I'll read them and then I'll like talk about whether I as a Pisces actually enjoyed this specific book that people are recommending to Pisceans. So I hope I'm not speaking like complicated words, but you get the gist, right? So let's get started with the video because I already read my first book, which is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This book, Yours Truly, is the second book in the Part of Your World series. So like you need to read that book. I mean, you don't have to, but like you should like probably read that book before reading Yours Truly and oh my god, I really enjoyed it. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, you should like totally follow me on there, because I give like really good in-depth reviews of every book I'm reading. I also recommend a lot of trope based books, so follow my Instagram account. And anyways, if for those of you who are already following, I recently posted this reel. I posted this reel saying that I spoke a lot about how relatable the main male character was to me. This is very rare for me to like relate to a guy, because more often than not, I mostly just end up relating to the girl. I'm not saying that it's strange or anything. It was just a surprise that like I didn't really expect how much I would relate to the guy in the book. So just a context, the book is about this woman Brianna, who is an ER physician, and she has a lot of stuff going on in her life. She is currently going through a divorce. Her brother is sick, his like kidneys are failing, and he's in desperate need for a kidney transplant. And to make matters worse, the promotion that she was hoping she would get is being handed over to this new guy who's like just showed up at the hospital, whereas she's been at the hospital for 10 years. So it's just going to this new guy with no questions whatsoever. And so she's pissed at the new guy, and the new guy happens to be none other than Jacob Maddox. And Jacob is such a gem. Like the very first chapter where he like lays his eyes on her, oh my god, he's like immediately taken with her. Like literally the first time he sees her, he's like, oh my god, she's so beautiful, like I don't know what to speak to her about. Their first encounter doesn't really go well. She gets pissed off at him even more, and like all the hospital staff also hate him as well. But then something happens and she kind of sees this new side to him, and he does something so touching for her. I'm not gonna reveal it because I want you guys to like experience it as you're reading the book. Jacob does this really like heroic act for Brianna that like just brings down all of Brianna's defenses, and she sees how good Jacob is, like how different he is from all the men she's ever been with. And that brings me back to me as a Piscean reading this book, which is to say that I loved Jacob. Like I feel like Jacob and I share so many traits. Like I don't have, okay, see, there's a lot of talk about mental health in this book, so just know that before going into the book, I guess. And in the book, Jacob struggles with mental health, and essentially overall he just struggles being in social settings because he's an introvert. He's really shy. So am I. Like I have trouble making friends. Like if it's just like one person, I have no problem like approaching them. But if it is like a group of people, like at parties, and like if I'm going to a party, like somebody's party for the first time and I don't know anybody there, more often than not you'll just find me like skulking in a corner or with somebody I know. So like I'm never like in the center of the party. I'm always on the periphery, like on the edge, just looking at the party and like observing what is happening. So Jacob is like that. It's not that he wants to be alone. He's more of a listener and an observer than like a engaging participant of sorts. Like he just likes holding back and watching people he knows or like who are his friends to like just lead the conversation or whatever is going on. And I'm like that, and sometimes I get really anxious too, like meeting new people. Difficult thing for me. Like even in my university, I have like only 3 friends that I talk to on a day-to-day basis, like every day. 2 of my friends actually happen to be like extroverts. They like talk to people, and I only end up talking to other people in my class if these extroverts are with me. So like you get what I'm saying. Like I usually just stick to myself. If I'm alone, I usually just like do things by myself. I enjoy doing it. And seeing Jacob being like that as a man, because like a man you would expect him to be more like socially active and like very talkative and lead the conversation, whatever, but like you actually see how quiet he is and how much he needs his silence and his peace. Like he needs time to like recharge his social battery. Same for me, because I get exhausted very easily if I'm like in a social setting for a really long time. Like university is different, that's attending classes, but like if I'm at a party and like they expect the party to go on for like 5-6 hours, I would probably be done max 1 hour. Like I would be like checked out. So just seeing that and like seeing how he is and how he deals with situations like this, as a Piscean, I appreciated the book a lot because it really is relatable. Not that I struggle with mental health issues, but just to see that representation in the book of how sometimes we just need our space. Like we don't really, sometimes, I just run out of energy to like deal in social settings. Just to see a representation of that is kind of comforting to me. I enjoyed this book a lot, and the romance itself was obviously amazing. I loved it so much. The things Jacob and Brianna do for each other, and I especially loved how understanding Brianna was of his situation. Like she was able to like pick up his non-verbal cues and like know when he was exhausted and when he wanted to retreat and like go back into his shell. She was very receptive and she knew how to take care of him and how to talk him through his anxiety. That just melted my heart. Like this whole book was so special, in fact special enough that I gave it a 5 stars. Like I feel like this is definitely going to be a reread for me at some point in the future. Like not right away, because again there's a lot to pack in this book. Like it has the romance, it has all this, but then it also, like, Jacob's point of view is really quite heavy, which I didn't expect from this book initially, because part of your world is a little more lighter, but yours truly is like deep. Like it's so deep, I didn't expect it to be that deep. Like the relationships and the mental processes that both these characters are going through, Abby Jimenez has put such great work into this that like I feel such regret for not picking this book up sooner. So I'm glad that this video idea that I came up with finally convinced me to do so. And with that, let's move on to the next book. So I finished my second book, and that is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. So I finished this book actually 2 days ago, but I've just been marinating over everything that's like happened. I don't even know if I used that word right, marinating. But anyways, you know what I mean. Like this book has a lot to unpack. Sorry I cut the video because I just got my next package of books. I'll probably make another YouTube video of me unboxing this, so stay tuned for that. Let's get back to the book. Obviously you need to check your trigger warnings because this book talks a lot about sexual assault, rape to be specific, and the scenes are pretty graphic. The basic premise of the book is about this girl Eden who goes through this sexual assault, and it's her journey to recovery, and it takes her a while to recover from this incident. You see her kind of spiraling down. It's a very like emotional roller coaster ride. You kind of see that she doesn't really have a chance to tell anybody. Like legit, like I'm not even joking, after reading the first chapter I was just so angry at the world. I remember I had to like talk about my feelings with somebody, so I like spoke to my best friend about the entire book. I literally told her how the book ends, everything. Thankfully she's not someone who reads the book, so I didn't really have to feel guilty about spoiling it. I had to tell her how the book ended and like what exactly happened, talk my feelings through the book. It's very heavy, like I said, in terms of like how much of it like is relatable. Like obviously I feel really like empathetic towards this character. Like Eden, so many awful things happened to her. I was kind of getting annoyed with all the people around her. They were like not understanding that she's like going through something, and they were rarely ever asking her like if she was going through something, like if something had happened to her. They were just like, oh my god, why are you being so annoying, why are you being so mean. They never like decided to ask her if there was something that was actually bothering her. They just, they were like, oh my god, she's a teenager, so she's like acting like one. The only person who ever like asked her is the love interest Josh. But be forewarned, this is not a romance by any means. Like, there is a very very tiny romantic subplot, but like it ends before it even begins. So don't go into this book thinking it's a romance. It's not. It was super inspiring reading her story, and also the fact that like the author Amber Smith wrote something like to this degree, and like the details and the way she explained Eden's feelings, it's honestly admirable. Because I don't think, like, I would never be able to write literature quite like this. Like, it's so deep and so profound, and I was crying by the end of the book. Like, it's so emotional. I love this book a lot. I gave it like a 4.5 stars. It's a book that I feel everybody should read because it's very relevant to today's world, because things like this, like what's happened in this book, happens a lot. Like, it happens everywhere. So I feel like in that sense, I think it's definitely a book that everybody should give in to reading. It's super deep, and like, you kind of need to brace yourselves when going into reading this book. In terms of like a Pisces, me, a Piscean, actually liking this book, I did like it. Like I said, it's very relevant. The story is so inspiring and incredible. I know that there's a second book in the series. I think it's called The Way I Am Now, and I don't know if I'm gonna read that book yet, because I feel like this one book itself is kind of enough for me. Like the way it ended, I feel like this is sort of more than enough. But let's see, if I'm ever in the mood, I'll probably pick it up. But as of now, I'm not really sure I'm gonna pick up that second book yet. So I finished the third book for this video, and that is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. It is a romantasy, and books from this genre are pretty commonly recommended to Pisceans, because Pisceans like their fantasy worlds. They're very like engrossed in their imagination and whatnot, so kind of makes sense. And I saw this book being listed a lot on a lot of like blogs and stuff, so I was like, I immediately need to pick it up. And also, who can resist the UK cover? I have the UK one with the characters, and it looks so pretty. Honestly, I was like all in just for the cover itself, but the story, oh my god, the story was incredible. Before I get into the actual review, just wanted to say that I was initially supposed to record this segment of the video while talking about both the books in the series. So the series, or duet, because it has only 2 books, is called Letters of Enchantment, and this is the first book, Divine Rivals. The second book is Ruthless Vows. I was initially supposed to read both the books and then record this, but I'm not sure I'll have the time to get around to reading the second one, so that I can edit all of it and post it on Saturday. It's currently Wednesday right now, so I was like, okay, just in case if I don't finish the second one, so I was like, let's not risk it. I'll just talk about this one, because this book, I'm giving it a 5 stars. I haven't even updated on my Goodreads or Fable yet. You guys can obviously tell how excited I am, because I haven't even given it enough time to update on the apps. I just finished reading the book, and my god, it was so good. Like, I've heard very contradicting reviews about this book. Some people really loved it, some people were like, meh, it's kind of okay. But I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I don't understand what is not there to love about this book. Like, it has the perfect amount of fantasy romance and like everything. It's also YA, so there's like no spicy scenes, so anybody can read this. The world building, like, so much better than the Cruel Prince trilogy. I feel like the Cruel Prince trilogy was like right off the bat, you kind of just jump into the world, but this one gives you a more like slower start because you're learning about the world building as your characters are experiencing it. So I just thought that just made the experience so much more fun. And they also like the way she wrote about the world building, like, you know, there are like gods and stuff warring here. The way she wrote about all that was like so easy to understand. And yeah, the fantasy aspect of the book was like 10 out of 10. I loved it a lot. And the romance aspect of it, don't even ask, it was so good. First off, this story takes place in 1915. I had to like calculate the years, so you can like tell how invested I was because I wanted to know like what year the book was taking place in. So yeah, it's early 1900s, and like, I don't know, that just made me feel like the book was a lot more whimsical. The writing also, I feel like it's so lyrical. Like, the prose is amazing. Just like explain the quick plot, I guess. It's about obviously these two characters. She's Iris, he's Roman. It's about these two characters, and the book opens up with them working at a newspaper company where both of them are rivals and they are fighting for the same promotion. He is like a rich kid and he's super arrogant, and they've always had it out for each other since day one. Like, she hears him make like this offhand comment about her, and that just angers her, and so both are like competing for the promotion. Meanwhile, at home, Iris's like home life is not good at all. Her mother is like a struggling alcoholic. Her brother has gone off to fight in the war because there are like these two gods, Dakre and Enva, who have risen after several centuries. Now they are at war with each other, so her brother has enlisted to fight in the war. Things are not going great for Iris. So the only solace that she finds is by typing letters to her brother using her grandmother's typewriter. So she like does it every night. She goes home, it's ritual, it's basically a habit now. So she goes down, sits down to type her letter. She types her letter and she doesn't know like where her brother is stationed at, so she can't really like send it to him. So the only thing that she does is every time after she finishes writing a letter, she puts it in her wardrobe, and she kind of hopes that these letters are going to her brother. Because she never gets a response back from him, so she doesn't really know, but she kind of hopes they're going to him. So today she writes her letter and she keeps it in her wardrobe, and she like notices that like it immediately disappears, and she's like, oh, okay, well, hopefully it reached him. Then she goes into bed, and what she notices is that there's a piece of paper lying on her wardrobe floor. And she's like, oh my god, did my letter not send or what? And then she goes to her wardrobe to get a closer look at the paper, and she realizes that that paper is not the letter that she wrote. That's surprising, right? So like, somebody has responded, and she opens the letter, and unfortunately it's not her brother who responds. It's just a random guy. We all know who that random guy is, obviously, but she doesn't know that her letters are going to her rival. They start corresponding, and it's okay, let me just tell you. So that's kind of how their love story starts, because they're rivals at work, and then after work they're kind of like corresponding with each other, sending letters to each other. She doesn't know that he's the one receiving the letters, so there's that secrecy. But like, other than this sending of letters, this novel is so much more than that. The fantasy aspects of it, my god, like, I don't think I've ever felt this good about a fantasy novel since I like read Percy Jackson. Like, that is like, you know, Greek mythology and whatnot. This, I feel like, also kind of has the same vibes. They both are humans, by the way. They're not like fantastical creatures or anything like Cardan in The Cruel Prince. They are normal people like me, like you. And I don't know, there's just something so magical, and the way they like talk to each other in these letters, is like so lyrical and enchanting. Like I was like so jealous as I was reading their letters to each other. I was like, when am I gonna find a guy who is going to send me letters like these two send each other? Like I mean, I would never be able to come up with anything as enchanting or like as moving as these two come up with, like words. I would just be so enamored if a guy actually sent me letters like the ones these two are sending to each other. As I was reading this book, I was kind of going through fan art on Pinterest, and I came across the Fairy Loot edition of this book. And seriously, like, that Fairy Loot edition looks so good. I'm gonna put a picture right here so you guys can also see it. I mean, tell me that cover does not look good. Like, I want to so badly buy that cover. Like, I want to buy a book just because of the cover. Like, that cover looks so pretty. The same for Ruthless Vows. Like, the Ruthless Vows cover is also so good. Honestly, I loved this book so much. I am also like 100%, not even 1,000% sure that I'm going to fall in love with Ruthless Vows, because I can just feel it, you know, like I can tell it's going to be a 5-star read. I'm so glad that this video idea that convinced me to read this book. Although this book has been on my TBR for a while now, like ever since I decided I wanted to get into the romantasy genre. And I'm glad I finally read it. I'm definitely going to be rereading this book at some point in the future again. And I also wish so badly that somebody would make a series out of this book. Like, tell me you can't picture the scenes as you're reading it. Like, you can't picture the scenes in your head as you're reading it. Like, the whole time I was reading it, the book is so descriptive that I could literally imagine everything that was happening to these characters, what they were experiencing, all the scenes. And also the cover art design was like just such a good addition. And this is one of the prettiest covers I have ever seen. Like, I can't tell you how much I love this cover. I cannot wait to get started on Ruthless Vows, because the ending of this book is like, the ending of this book has got me excited, and I desperately want to start Ruthless Vows, which is on my bookshelf there in my room. Hi you guys, we're back in my OG filming spot. I just wanted to say, you know, thank you for like watching this video. I had a lot of fun filming this video, just because, you know, the theme about like, you know, astrology and combining books is like really interesting. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some great recommendations. I mean, I only spoke about 3 books, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye.